Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Scott to Girl podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today we're going to be talking about Season 3, Episode 9, Closure. So I'm just going to start off with the plot summary and then just talking about different points in this about this episode that I liked and some different foreshadowing and Easter eggs I may have noticed. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says, at dinner with Coulson, Price reveals plans to confront Malik before being abruptly sniped by Ward and dying in Coulson's arms. Promoting Mac to interim director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson sets out for revenge and goes off book with Hunter and Bobby to kidnap Ward's younger brother, Thomas. Fitz and Simmons go with Banks to investigate the ATCU, but Banks is killed and the two are captured by Hydra. Simmons is tortured until Fitz agrees to help Hydra return Hive to Earth, while Coulson uses a phone call between the Ward brothers where Grant attempts to justify himself and his past actions to Thomas to locate Hydra. They have set up a base at the English castle. Mac clears Gonzalez. He's not Gonzalez. I just see G and I automatically and a Z and I pronounce Gonzalez. But he clears the secret warriors for field duty and mobilizes the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a rescue mission. Hydra reopens the portal and Malik convinces Ward to lead Hydra through it with Fitz and return with Hive, promising that Coulson will die when they return. Determined to kill Ward, Coulson manages to enter the portal as well. So that's the plot summary. I really enjoy this episode because it's one that always catches me off guard when I rewatch it, because I always forget. I start watching that first episode, they're just having dinner, Coulson and Price, and then she gets shot, and I'm like, oh snap, that's this episode. Oh yeah, damn, we're at that point. I always think it's like an end of a season episode, but this is because it's like a mid-season one. It's during like the mid-season break, so that's why it felt like at the time when I first watched this, it always kind of feels like a season finale almost kind of thing, or like leading up to a season finale, but it's just leading up to the mid-season break. I think they had that tied into this. Yeah, I'm looking on Wikipedia to see that now. But yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. It's kind of you get this side of Coulson that you don't normally see. Coulson's normally very, by the book, but in this episode, he's reached his point, having this woman he cared about, Price, die in his arms because Ward, and then Ward calling and like gloating about it. That's the worst part, rubbing salt in the wound. And we don't, Ward's got his own reason for doing stuff, but Coulson's just done with it, and Coulson, doesn't want to corrupt the name of S.H.I.E.L.D. by, being the director and going and doing these kind of shady things like kidnapping somebody and, potentially threatening to torture him in order to, get to Ward. And go into these extreme methods, jumping out of the Quinjet to dive, skydive right through into the portal. That could have ended with very badly if that portal had shut down any sooner. But yeah, you're just gonna see that side of him that he's just really this kind of like almost the final straw. Not quite the final straw, but the final straw in this matter, particularly with Ward. He's just tired of Ward just fucking around so much. He gave Ward a couple shots, but then they hit a point where they're like, no, you've gone too far, Ward. And now Coulson's going to go. He's going to kill him. And for those of us who've already rewatched and watched this show, we know how that happens, and it's pretty freaking dark. But that's in the next episode, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But yeah, so some other things I liked about this episode was Mac having to take the lead. I like Coulson, the way he hands it over and justifies it. Like, May's not ready for this right now after her Andrew stuff. Mac, I need you because you don't have any kind of history with Ward. You can be a little more level-headed and clear-headed about this. And I like that because it kind of foreshadows the fact that Mac takes the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. a couple times throughout the series. Maybe not a couple times, but at least once more throughout the series. And he's always such a great leader, such a powerful leader. He's always kind of got that moral compass that he's always the one who's like being like, hey guys, shouldn't we, but he's also like hates robots and stuff. So that makes him a little biased sometimes. But I love Mac, and I really enjoyed this episode for him because, he takes the lead. He has that speech where he leads them at the end. He has to, come to terms with making the decision, being like, should we go after Hydra or not? Should we commit all our resources to this? And they end up doing it, and, he's just like, well, we got to do what we got to do because otherwise the bad guys are going to win. And well, it's our job to stop that. And I just love that line. Such a great line. So some other things I liked about this episode. We got the 5 stones from the monolith that were given to each of the heads of Hydra. They bring that together to make the portal again. So I just really like that kind of like little that thing that they didn't explain at all, this monolith we see at the beginning of the season, or the big end of last season, that when we first see it, and it's missing these stones, it's missing these pieces, and they connect that in, halfway through this season with, explaining it with the, Hydra took these pieces out, and it was just, I just love that kind of explanation, that kind of planning out throughout the season, which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just so great for, like having that kind of foreshadowing, that planning ahead with these different little things. It's just really enjoyed that little thing. In this episode, we get the explanation from Malik as to what they are. But yeah, some other things. Fitzsimmons is kidnapped by, when Fitzsimmons is kidnapped by Hydra, we see, you see that like Ward Ward and Malik kind of notice that Simmons is a little bit more tough than, they thought than the last time they had encountered Simmons. Not that Malik had it, but the impression he had gotten of Simmons, Malik's impression of Simmons, that is, was kind of off, because now she's a little bit more hardened, she's a little more badass after her time on the alien planet, and things that Ward is, he even says that he contributed putting them through, dropping them into the ocean, so I just like that we see that side of it. Fitz in this episode disappoints me a little bit, but also it's just classic Fitz. Like, doesn't just disappointment is not the right word, but obviously he doesn't want to see Simmons hurt, and I get that. I feel it for you, Fitz. But you also can't help the bad guys, Fitz. Like, this is something that we run into a few times throughout the series with Fitz, and that he's, willing to cross certain lines in order to see those who he loves the most, particularly Simmons, not be hurt. And this is just one of the first examples that we see of him kind of like being like willing to help Hydra just to stop from Simmons being tortured, even when Simmons is like, just let them kill me, like it'd be better that way. And he's like, I can't do that. So I love that about Fitz, but it's also kind of just like, Fitz, you should know better, but I'm glad you do these things too, because it just makes you who you are. It makes him his character, and so I just enjoyed that little aspect we get to. And so the last thing I just had written down was about Coulson following Ward through the portal. I mentioned him jumping into it, which is just, it's a cool scene, but also kind of just like, okay, well that's crazy. And we see at the end he gets a little banged up when he gets through the portal. So I'm excited to get to the next episode, because I can't exactly remember how the confrontation plays out through that episode. And Coulson, I know how it ends, I just don't remember how exactly it plays out through the next episode. But yeah, that's all my thoughts for this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there was any foreshadowing or Easter eggs I missed, or anything that you liked in particular about this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.